10 minutes. That's all the time they gave us. The cake hadn't even been touched. My daughter's tiny fingers were still curled around the satin ribbons of her birthday dress, her eyes glowing with the kind of joy only a 7-year-old can hold, pure, unfiltered, unguarded. And then my mother rose from her chair. "We've got better things to do," she said flatly, not even bothering to mask the disdain in her voice. My sister smirked, scooped up her children with exaggerated huffs, and followed her out. One after another, chairs screeched against the floor. Shoes shuffled toward the door in a slow, careless exodus until the room was emptied of everything but silence. Silence, and my daughter, frozen in her chair, staring at the doorway as if trying to will them back. Her chest still rose and fell quickly, that birthday excitement twisting into confusion before my eyes. I didn't chase after them. I didn't beg. I simply knelt beside her, lowered my voice to a whisper, and said, "Don't worry, sweetheart. They won't hurt you again." But inside me, something hardened. Something final clicked into place. It wasn't the first time they had done this. Not exactly this, but something like it. My whole life, they dismissed me. My accomplishments, luck, my setbacks, proof I wasn't enough. My daughter, an inconvenience, an obligation. And still, I invited them. Still, I believed blood meant loyalty. Still, I hoped. That hope died the moment they left her party. Because this time, it wasn't just about me, it was about her. They had shown my little girl that she wasn't even worth their time. And that was the last wound they would ever get to inflict. That night, after the guests had gone, after my daughter drifted into dreams, I sat alone at the kitchen table. The half-eaten cake sagged in the dark, frosting sliding under the weight of neglect. I stared at it and replayed everything. Every insult, every smirk, every dismissal, every time they had made me feel small and unwanted. I didn't just stew in it, I planned. Not for revenge. Not for recognition. For her. The first step was simple. I cut them off. For years, I had been their silent provider. I paid my mother's utilities. Gone. I covered my sister's car insurance. Gone. I handed out endless loans to cousins that never came back. Gone. By sunrise, every transfer, every auto payment, every safety net they had counted on was deleted. I didn't call. I didn't explain. I just let the silence speak for me. The second step was visibility. For years, they controlled the narrative. They painted me as needy, pathetic, the one begging for scraps of affection. So I shifted the story. I posted the photos, my daughter smiling, cheeks puffed as she blew out her candles, sparklers lighting up her small face. Around her, empty chairs. My caption, "She deserved more, but she has me, and that's enough." People noticed. Neighbors, friends, their friends. Questions began to ripple outward. Where was the family? Why would anyone abandon a child's birthday like that? The shame that once lived on my shoulders began to cling to theirs. Day 3, the calls began. My mother's voice was honey at first. "Darling, the bill must not have gone through." I let it ring. My sister, sharper, almost demanding, "Hey, the insurance is due. You said you'd silence." A cousin desperate, "We're late on rent. Just this once, please." Click. By the end of the week, their voices had changed. No longer confident. No longer smug. Frantic. "Don't punish the whole family for one mistake. You're overreacting. We didn't mean it. She's just a child. She'll forget." But I hadn't forgotten. And my daughter would not be asked to forget either. When the breaking point came, it came quickly. They invited me back, same living room where so many of their insults had been launched like daggers over the years. The air was stale, suffocating with history. Their faces looked older somehow, thinner, worn down. My mother spoke first. "We're sorry. We shouldn't have left. We just weren't thinking." My sister folded her arms tight. "You're blowing this out of proportion. Families fight." I sat there calm, colder than I had ever been. "You didn't fight," I said evenly. "You humiliated a child." The words hung there, unchallenged. I set my phone on the table, unlocked it, and scrolled slowly through the pictures of the party. Their eyes flicked to the screen. My sister's face drained of color. "Do you know how many people have seen these?" I asked quietly. "Your neighbors. Your co-workers. People who didn't even know us are asking why you'd walk out on a child. Do you know what they see now? Not me as a failure. You as monsters. My mother's voice cracked. Please stop. I leaned forward, voice steady as stone. No, I already stopped. I stopped paying your bills. I stopped carrying your weight. And I stopped believing your love was worth buying. The silence that followed pressed against the walls. They understood, maybe for the first time, that I was finished. Their lifeline was gone. Their reputation, something they treasured more than family, was unraveling. I slid my phone back into my pocket and stood. You walked out on her birthday. I'm walking out of your lives. And I did. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Calls, texts, pleading, bargaining, empty promises. I turned it face down on the counter. I poured my daughter a bowl of cereal and sat across from her. She hummed to herself, swinging her legs under the table. Then she looked up, spoon poised. Are they coming back? She asked. I smiled softly. No, sweetheart. They're not. Her shoulders dropped, relaxed. She scooped her spoon into the bowl and carried on humming. And for the first time in years, I exhaled too. They thought I needed them. But the truth was simple. Without me, they crumbled. Without them, we soared. They abandoned her birthday. And I abandoned them.